Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are stepping into a pretty remarkable institution, the ELTE University Library and Archives. And this isn't just, another research repository. It's almost a study in architectural conflict.
It really is. You've got this incredible 19th century landmark preservation
Right.
smashing right up against 21st century automation. And I mean, the logistics of just getting people in and out.
And that's exactly what our sources dig into. They give this
Yeah.
incredibly detailed, almost granular look at the whole environment.
Yeah, it's not just about the text they hold. It's about how you, as a researcher, are actually supposed to navigate the place. The rules, the access, the different study spaces. It's complex.
So our mission today is really to cut through all of that complexity. We're going to distill the key facts, maybe a few efficiency hacks so you can maximize your time there. Because before you can see those frescoes or, touch those ancient texts, you have to get past the initial gatekeepers. The sources are crystal clear. Access is strictly tiered. You need either a basic visitor ticket or the more expansive borrower ticket.
And let's just unpack that difference right away because it's critical. The first tier, that's the visitor ticket. It's free.
Okay.
And with it, you get this incredibly generous on-site access. You can use all the printed and electronic core collections. We're talking everything published after 1801.
So pretty much the entire modern collection.
The entire modern collection. Plus, you get full, unlimited access to something like 12,000 journal titles.
That's huge. That's basically the entire modern research wing just for walking in the door.
It is. The visitor ticket also unlocks all the informational services, the catalogs, bibliographies, and crucially, all the ELTE subscribed databases.
And you can use their computers?
Yep, you can use the library computers, the self-service scanners, and of course connect to their Wi-Fi. The only real limitation, functionally, is if you want a physical copy of something.
So printing and copy it.
Exactly. If you need to print or copy, or even if you ask the library to make a digital copy for you, that's when you have to, pay a separate fee.
Yeah.
Or buy a special card for it.
Okay, so the visitor ticket gets you pretty far with initial research. But for deep archival work, or obviously if you want to take a book home...
That's where the borrower ticket becomes absolutely essential.
And what's the single biggest difference it makes?
Well, it's the only way to get into that deep archival research and, I'd say, interlibrary efficiency. It unlocks document borrowing, online renewals, interlibrary loans, all of that stuff.
Okay.
But here's the crucial detail. It's the prerequisite for on-site study of the special collections.
Wait, hold on a second. The sources say that even with that ticket, you still have to fill out a research declaration form.
You do.
So having the highest level of access doesn't just let you walk in and say, I'd like to see a 16th century manuscript, please.
Not at all.
Yeah.
This is where you see that tension between preservation and access just laid bare. You need the borrower status, absolutely. But these materials are so rare.
Things like codices and specific Jesuit collections.
Exactly. The Heaven Easy and Pray collections, things like that. They're irreplaceable. So the library maintains maximum security. That declaration form is really a screening process.
To make sure you're a legitimate researcher who knows how to handle the material.
Precisely. Permission is conditional. It's never automatic.
That makes a lot of sense, given the stakes. So just for context, what are we talking about here? What's in these super guarded special collections?
Functionally, you can kind of think of it as everything published or created before 1800.
Okay, so a clear cutoff.
A very clear line. This includes manuscripts, incunabula, rare maps, scholarly letters, and what they call old prints, which are then categorized by century. It's this vast resource of unique, one-of-a-kind documents.
Which explains all the security.
Exactly.
All right, so let's shift to the physical space itself and how you can work efficiently within it. The building, designed by Antal Skalnitsky, opened in 1876. It's Hungary's first purpose-built library.
A beautiful legacy.
But one that also dictates the entire modern workflow, I imagine.
It absolutely does. The overwhelming majority of the building is just closed document stacks.
Okay.
Which means the areas that visitors can access have to be exceptionally efficient. And that user journey starts right on the ground floor in what they call the ULA. This is the modern hub.
And it seems like they've concentrated all the high-tech, fast services right there at the entrance.
They have. You've got the info desk, self-service printing, self-checkout terminals. Even the book returns are handled by a smart shelf.
A smart shelf.
Yeah. But here's the real efficiency hack with all this automation. These self-service functions. They're available for 2 hours before the library officially opens and for 2 hours after it closes.
That is a game changer. So you could, what, drop off your books late at night or pick up a pre-ordered item super early in the morning?
You could. It
Uh-huh.
completely revolutionizes the logistics, especially for busy students or researchers. It lets you bypass the peak hours for all those essential little tasks.
And I see they also have snack and coffee machines in the LLA.
Right, so you can refuel without having to, pack up and leave the building.
Hmm.
It's all about keeping you in that work zone.
And right next to that hub is the community space and kitchen area.
Yeah, this is designed for group study and collaboration, the places where you don't have to be totally silent. The kitchen is surprisingly well equipped, hot and cold water dispensers, microwaves, even a fridge.
So the whole ground floor is basically this quick, communal, automated work zone.
That's a great way to put it. There is one little logistical wrinkle, though.
Which is?
That community space is so useful, they also use it for library events, which means sometimes it'd have to be closed to the public.
Oh, that's a problem.
It is, but they know it. The sources say they're already planning to open a second community space specifically to move those events over.
That's smart. It shows they're prioritizing that need for dedicated collaborative space.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's move upstairs. We're ascending to the first floor, which is really for that deep, specialized, scholarly research.
And first things first, the logistics. You have to leave your coat and any large bags in the self-service cloakroom downstairs before you can go up.
Mandatory stuff.
Mandatory. Then once you're upstairs, you walk into the visual centerpiece of the whole library. The great reading room. The Negilvaso.
And this place sounds incredible, over 200 square meters.
It's an imposing space. And it's famous for the natural light that just streams in through this huge glass ceiling, and of course the frescoes by Lotz.
And then set around that main room, you have these more specialized zones.
Right, there's the researcher room, which is exclusively for studying those restricted special collections we talked about.
Oh, okay.
And then there's this other space called the Circle. It's a smaller, circular room, sort of cozier, with really flexible furniture like beanbags and small armchairs for group work.
So again, that distinction is there. The ground floor is for speed and automation.
And the first floor is for quiet, deep work and contemplation.
But no matter which room you're sitting in, we have to talk about the single most important efficiency hack for using this library.
The retrieval time.
The retrieval time from the closed stacks. You might see a few books on what they call free shelves, but it's a tiny fraction of the collection.
It's negligible. Pretty much everything you need has to be requested online from the catalog.
And this is where planning ahead can save you literally hours. The sources warn that getting a document from the closed stacks takes, on average, 20 to 30 minutes.
20 to 30 minutes to arrive at the lending desk on the first floor.
So if you just show up at 9 a.m. and put your request in then, well, you've just wasted half an hour of prime research time just waiting.
Which is why the secret weapon for any experienced researcher here is to pre-order everything you need from home, probably the night before.
Exactly. You arrive, your books are waiting for you.
Efficiency relies completely on that anticipation. Which brings us to the technology that helps with that efficiency.
Right, and the tech they offer also reinforces that hierarchy between the two floors. And let's not forget the penalty. It's a 1,500 forint per day fine if you don't return loaned equipment.
It's a steep penalty. So if you have a borrower ticket, you can check out a few things. From the main lending desk, you can get power banks for your phone or headphones if you're working on a library computer.
But what about laptops?
Laptops are different. You can borrow one, but only from the ground floor info desk. And here's the key. It can only be used in that ground floor community space.
Ah, so they're not cleared for use in the quiet reading rooms upstairs.
Nope. And that tiered access extends to the library's own computers as well.
Okay, so downstairs.
Downstairs, computer access is free and unlimited. But once you go to the first floor reading rooms, the rules get much tighter.
To make sure they're available for faculty and dedicated research.
Exactly. So on the first floor, general computer use is limited to just 2 hours a day.
And the book scanners?
A little more generous. Those specialized scanner computers are limited to 3 hours per user per day.
It really sounds like they're actively pushing general internet use down to the ground floor, keeping upstairs for focused, specialized tasks.
I think so. And they mentioned they've been adding a lot more power outlets at most of the tables, which kind of underscores that shift. They expect you to bring your own device.
Finally, we should touch on accessibility because the historical nature of the building creates some real constraints here.
It does. Because of that 19th century design, the building is, unfortunately, not mobility accessible.
That's a huge challenge.
It is. It means that any services for mobility impaired users have to be done through an authorized proxy. It's a difficult trade-off you make to preserve a national landmark.
For sure.
But where they can control the environment, they've made huge investments, especially for visually impaired readers.
Okay, like what?
They have a whole suite of aids. Specialized reading software like JWS, high-contrast keyboards, braille printers, and even these high-end braille display systems. There's one called the Active Star system that lets you display text and take notes in braille simultaneously.
So it's a clear dedication to providing that specialized support where the technology allows it.
Exactly.
So to wrap up, we've basically explored an institution where you have 16th century texts housed inside a 19th century landmark.
And the whole operation is navigated by 21st century automation.
Yeah, with these really strict rules about where you can sit, what tech you can use, and how fast you can get your pre-ordered books.
And what's so fascinating here is that tension you described, that constant pull between the need for maximum preservation versus the push for high accessibility and collaborative space.
Right.
It leaves you at a really interesting question. Given this library's intricate logistics, how does this mix of, strictly controlled rare collections and these open communal working spaces, how does that influence what we think of as an ideal design for a modern research facility?
That's a great question.
If you were tasked with building a new research library today, what trade-offs would you prioritize?
Yeah.
Where do you draw that line between historical reverence and just universal ease of use?
Something to think about.
Definitely something to consider the next time you walk through the gates of a major research archive.